This is Mike. You don't hear my voice? There's that. Okay, there's voice for you, and then for audio here, we're looking for what exactly? This is going to be 4. Let's take 4. Okay, there we go. That should give you guys sound. Okay, are we getting any glitches, guys? Are you guys seeing anything pop up? Are we, like, you know, having any lag at all? Is it going fading in and out like it was before? Looks good so far? Okay. Well, for those of you who hang out for a bit, let me know if that changes. This Datacron's such nonsense. Done. Yeah, I still haven't gotten a notification saying my stream is unhealthy or anything, which is a good sign. Drop frame 0%. CPU's at 2%, 60 of 60 frames. So far, it's looking good. So far, I'm not getting any, like, you know, problems as far as I can tell. It looks good on that screen. Yeah, okay, so it's looking good so far. What's this test stream about? We're trying out OBS to see if we get the fluttering that we were having. During today's stream, we were like literally fading in and out constantly, where we'd have like 10 minutes and then we'd have like just 5 seconds of the stream just drop, and then it would be back, and it was super annoying. And it wasn't like lagging for like 30 seconds like it usually does. I think I fixed that problem, but we were getting like just random drops in connection, and so we're testing to see if it was Streamlabs side or if it was my connection side. Because if it's my connection side, then that's something I got to talk to my internet service provider about. But if it's based on Streamlabs, then we just switch to OBS and we just permanently stream on OBS and we have 0 problems. So we're basically just testing that to see how it goes, and so I'm just on the lookout to see if we drop frames, if we have any lag spikes, any drops of stream or anything like that. Does Mandalorians counter Afra in 3v3? Ooh, that's actually something I don't know. If it's the Afracron, definitely not. I can look it up for you real quick. And Hey, One Tired Sith. Just having a lot of frame dropping and things with Streamlabs, and we're checking with OBS to see if it's essentially happening because of my connection, my internet connection, or if it's because Streamlabs is just doo-doo. And if Streamlabs is doo-doo, that's $20 less a month that I have to spend on different stuff for the channel, and I can save that $20. Because technically the only reason to use Streamlabs and utilize it is because it provides a better connection, because instead of trying to OBS, you're using a third-party software where you're sending it to YouTube and you're sending it to Twitch. Whereas when you stream through Streamlabs, you're sending it to Streamlabs servers, and Streamlabs is sending it to Twitch and YouTube. So it's less intensive on your internet, supposedly, but yet we keep dropping. So we're just trying to figure that out, essentially. If a fan of yours saw you in public, would you give them a hug? Sure. I don't see why not, as long as you promise not to stab me. That's right, Afra. I was like sitting here, I'm like, why am I in this menu? Afra. It's getting late, guys. I'm tired. Mall, and you said no Datacrons. I'm guessing on either side. It's looking like a 50% win rate, 66 if you have Beskar Mandalorian. So your best win rate is Jango Beskar Mandalorian. This is a 100% win rate, but it's only 3 battles. And that's a 66% win rate with 9 battles. So like this is the one that's the most trusted out of these percentages. I mean, so far, David, it doesn't seem like we're having any drops. So that's a good sign. I do have to figure out how to fix my green screen, because I know with OBS my green screen is slightly more visible, just because it's not using as new software as Streamlabs does. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. I have the ISC cron. I mean, that'll probably raise the win rate quite a bit. Attacking Datacron primary, that, and then defending Datacron has no Datacron. 100% win rate with 5 battles. And if we remove that and that, kind of curious. Yeah, so if we're looking at like everything, and we're just gonna we'll even take off defending Datacron set, and we're gonna exclude the Echoes of the Rebellion. I think is that the newest one? Yeah, so it's a 73% win rate total. To be fair, Shackdag, that's not the fault of OBS. I can bring that over super easily. In fact, here, let's because I'm currently streaming on my side account. Rabid Beavers peepees. There we go. Because we're technically streaming on my other account on Twitch to be able to do this stream, because I didn't want to go sign into my other Twitch and all that stuff. It should have the stuff for my other thing. So if I go like this, I think I have this one set up. Yeah, right there. Shackdag, hi. Your mom. Your mom. Oh, fine. Haha. What's up? Yeah, so like I could very easily swap this out to my chat for my other channel. And so right now it's just set up for the PP channel. So that's less of a thing. Like I can move basically everything over to OBS. There's literally, between OBS and Streamlabs, there's almost no difference besides you get access to some things to help you get started in Streamlabs. You get some training wheels, and then as I talked about, the split for internet. That is the only things that you get from Streamlabs. OBS can do exactly everything we're already doing. I can move everything over there. It's a little bit more fiddly, but that's about it. Otherwise, it's fully the same. 57, very nice. Blackbeard, that's what I like to hear. Dailies, let's see. Yeah, it looks like I will be spending tomorrow, like, you know, moving things over to OBS and maybe switching to OBS permanently from here on out. I gotta say, watching my hands waving in the corner to my right is getting a little annoying. I'm kind of annoying. Why do you guys watch me? I don't get it. You just watch me for my body, I know it. Good question for you guys. Does anyone know why ghosts love elevators? The reason that ghosts love elevators is because they raise their spirits. Seriously, it's nice to see someone actually improving their account rather than full-on whale. Why watch? Okay. So MOAR is the reason that you watch. Or watching someone improve their account and not just whale. Which we're stopping the whaling entirely. We've been whaling a lot lately just because the dark side clones, and I'm a man of my word. But like I'm completely done whaling for a good long time. Like even like Lightspeed bundles. Like what Lightspeed bundle could they possibly come out with that like I would want to purchase? Like maybe the Afra bundle if it comes back, maybe. But that's like Hondo Onaka, the GL, has to be like insane, and I have to be willing to go for him. Like that's the extent of me being willing to buy the Afra bundle. Even then, I'm kind of at that point where I could probably just buy, or not buy, but just farm the Afra characters pretty easily. Like I've got nothing else to farm besides the new Bad Batch and the Afra characters. So, how much do pirates pay for corn? My brain immediately was jumping to an arm and a leg. Will you long farm Hondo? Yeah, but not for a while. Like, not for a good long time, AR. Because, like, Hondo, we have these 4 Rex already, you know. Ezra Bridger, it'd be 1 relic level there. We got 2 relic levels there. A lot of relic levels there. Relic levels there. Going for a GL, I don't know if he's good. I don't know what's going to be great about this team. We'll see. Whereas JMK, I need 1 relic level on General Kenobi. I need to get this guy from Gear 12 to Relic 5. This guy from Gear 10 to Relic 7. This guy from Relic 5 to 7. This guy from 12 to Relic 5. This chick from 5 to 7. This guy from 12 to Relic 8. Like, I have most of the stuff done for JMK. I already have a Relic 9 cat. On the Leia side, I need Captain Rex up 5 relic levels. Nisa 2 relic levels. Scout Trooper, I need from Gear 12 to Gear 13, and then Relic 7. R2-D2, 1 relic level. Captain Drogon, still need to work on. CLS, you bring him up 2 relic levels. 3POC, bring him up 2 relic levels. Lobot, he's already at Gear 12, just bring him up to Relic 3. Like, these 2 farms are way too close for me to ever consider going for Hondo anytime soon. Would not having him harm content? If you don't know how to make content, then yes. If you do know how to make content, no. So because Arnold exists currently, Arnold will test whatever new character there is. Arnold will make a guide that will be one that everyone looks at. Whales don't look at my guides. They don't. They look at Arnold's guide and they dump money into getting whatever it is. People who get a day one character, that is going to go to them. My current guide for Jedi Master Mace Windu has 769 views, as opposed to the last other 3 videos I put out, which have 8,000, 4,000, and 8,000. None of which have to do with new characters. Like, yeah, I guess the raid video, sure. But this is how to use Finn Zori. This is 5 value farms. It's really not going to hurt my content to drop going for the newest character and not making that a thing. In fact, it can actually be a benefit to making more content because I'm slow farming the pirates, and so I can test out low gear things that you can do with the pirates and little things you can do with the pirates overall, instead of focusing on, you know, oh, getting it day one, because Arnold's always going to corner the market on news and day one unlocks. He just is. And so honestly, it's really not going to affect my views or anything if I don't go for the newest thing. It's just going to be like, oh no, I don't have the newest thing for a while. And in fact, it actually makes it so you're kind of out of touch with the rest of people, because they're like, I'm farming for Ahsoka, and you're like sitting there and you're like, I got Ahsoka day one. I shouldn't. I'm trying to tell you to not go for Ahsoka, but I went for Ahsoka. At least I can say I regret it. I don't know. That's wild, Undead Chemist. Absolutely wild. Why did you skip JMK and did Ahsoka instead? Ahsoka was a character that the reason that we did it was because we put a goal out there. It was the same thing with the Gungans, which the Gungans were my first day one character I ever unlocked, was Jar Jar. And I put a goal out there. I put up a goal in my streams and in my videos where I said, hey, if we hit this goal in donations, I will go for Ahsoka. And we hit that goal for donations, so I went for Ahsoka. Same thing with the Gungans. I was like, you know, hey, if we hit this goal, I will go for the Gungans. And so that's why I went for Ahsoka and went out of my way for Ahsoka, was because essentially the channel paid for it. And so because the channel, you guys paid for it, I'm going to go do it. Now, was it good for my account? No. I got really, really lucky going for Ahsoka, because I could have, in the time I got Ahsoka, I could have gotten Jabba, I could have gotten Profundity, and I could have gotten Leia. Instead, I went for Ahsoka. I got really lucky because CG, as I was unlocking Ahsoka, dropped the Jabba Lightspeed bundle. And so I was like, oh, there, the thing that I was supposed to farm in the meantime is right there. And so then I get Jabba done, and I finish Jabba, and then they drop the Profundity Lightspeed bundle. And it's like, oh, perfect. Now I have the Profundity Lightspeed bundle as I'm working for Leviathan, and now I have those 2 farms done. And so CG has really like curated this account and made it actually work. I should not be going through for a lot of the things that I've been going for on this account, and the skips that I've made going around JMK and Leia are really not the best thing for the account, because, you know, they are much closer. They're something super easy to go for. But just because of content's sake, just because of what you guys have pushed for, I'm a man of my word. I'm going, if you guys donate for the sake of getting me towards Ahsoka, I'm going to go towards Ahsoka. If I tell you guys, hey, I will go Lord Vader as my next GL, and I will go full on the dark side clones if they drop them, like a year before the raid came out and was announced, and then they announced them, I'm going man of my word. I'm going to go for the Lord Vader, and I'm going to go for the clones. So yeah, I wasn't planning on going for this current era at all. It was completely out of the cards going for Jedi Master Mace Windu, and then they announced the clones, and I was like, you got me, CG. Good job. How did GAT go? They beat Theo by like 18 banners. So they won, and they won 10 gifted memberships off of me, plus another 10 that I matched from Great One. So Did you buy each bundle? What do you mean, Lightspeed bundle? Are you referring to like the Java Lightspeed bundle and the Profundity Lightspeed bundle? Yeah, I bought both of them. It's the reason that I have the Profundity and Java at the moment. To be fair, I would have Java, I just wouldn't be as far along as I am currently, because Java was my next farm planned after Ahsoka, but because CG dropped the Lightspeed bundles when they did, they basically filled the holes for me. Like, I got Ahsoka and Java on the same day. I got Leviathan and Profundity on the same month. Like, they literally paved the way for this account to do the newer content and the older content at the same time, which I think is really what they're really pushing for, is to catch up old players into newer content and have them push like I am. I don't think people should do that. I think they should take care of their Lightspeed bundles and take it at their own pace, but yeah. Okay, overall, any drops, any glitches? Has it been stable this entire time? How long have we been live? We've been live for about 25 minutes. How has it looked, guys? Clean and smooth the whole time. Looks like we're gonna be switching over to OBS, guys. Gonna be a lot of work. I'll get it figured out though. I've been meaning to learn more about OBS and Streamlabs anyways. There's a lot that I want to try. I'm gonna be looking into learning some stuff with coding to do some stupid streams going forward. Haven't had a single stall? Heck yeah. Okay. Well, we will plan on this from here on out then. Lightspeed bundles have poisoned my basic farms. I have a level 6 gear 8 Hux that's like, the Ren bundle will be back soon, right? Right? Did you guys know that Hux was the only character in the game that for some reason, they patched it since, but for some reason he was the only character in the game that you could get to gear 12 before he got to 7-star. Fun fact. And it wasn't like a patch that they did forever ago. That was like a patch that they did like a year and a half ago. Like, it wasn't that long ago that they patched that. Okay, well, this looks like a successful stream and it's told me exactly what I need to know. And I've got nothing else to do in the game. I've already finished all events. Okay, I haven't done the Galactic Challenge, so I guess I'll do the Galactic Challenge. What is it? While using Galactic Republic ships. Negotiator. Galactic Republic. But then after this, I'm going to head out. I just wanted to make sure that this was stable, and then I'm going to be fiddling with a lot of settings tomorrow. Great One coming in with the 199. Well, I mean, you know what that means. Unfortunately, I don't have notifications up yet because obviously this is, on OBS, but Pip. Can you say thank you to Great One? Huh? Eyes up, Guardian. Oh, you're still eating. Sorry. Eyes up, Guardian. Jate. Looking good. Okay. Yeah. If she gets into something she's allergic to, she starts getting acne on her chin, so I always check to make sure I don't have, like, something lying around. Oh, we're so close. Okay, there we go. Got unending loyalty on everyone. Dang, a dodge. Hey, look, it's Lando. Go to bed, wishy-washy. I'm just hanging out here for a second while I test my stream. Okay, win with at least one light side and dark side, win after evading 5 attacks. Light side and dark side is this fleet. $12, $18 there. Yeah, it's 11 here. I couldn't get the evade 10 attacks. I figure it should work based on how long the battle is and everything. I should have 0 problems getting it with the Empire fleet. Hey, Age, welcome, welcome. That was kind of dumb of you. Dang. Absolutely demolished. Done. We're testing OBS, Caracol. Well, let's ships get payout. Whenever I throw Houndstooth on something random, it doesn't get payout, but Executor gives it. I've looked into Executor's kit and see nothing. Oh, are you talking about the breach payout? This is from Razor Crest. Razor Crest has it in its kit. Is that actual sign language? Yes, I am. I don't want to say fluent in sign language, but mostly fluent in sign language. I'm better than most college students. I have trouble understanding deaf people, just because overall sign language is a language that you speak better than you understand, unlike most other languages. And each person in sign language has their own accent based on how lazily they sign, what they grew up with, and what part of the US they're from. And so I do struggle, especially because I haven't actually signed with like a deaf person regularly in probably about 3 years. But I used to have a couple deaf and hard of hearing friends that I would hang out with and spend time with, and back then I was much better at it. But nowadays I can speak really well and I can get my point across, and given enough time with a deaf person I can have a full conversation, but I struggle a bit in understanding, especially just off the cuff. And of course, like most people, if you sit there and you talk to someone in their native language, they'll just fly off the handle and be like, you know, signing at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Or if it's like, you know, someone who's speaking Spanish, they'll fly off and start speaking Spanish really quickly because they're so excited that someone knows their language. So usually it's like, slow, please. I've not signed for like 3 years. Did they ever give you a name in sign? Yeah, so how names work in sign language, I'm not going to tell you mine, obviously, because, you know, it's my name. But how name signs work in sign language is there's not like a word for each name in sign language. Instead, they take a sign and then they, that like matches your personality, and then they take the first letter of your name and put it onto that. And so like, for instance, if I were to give Yotter a name sign, which it's inappropriate for me to give name signs because I'm not deaf or hard of hearing, those are the people that are supposed to give name signs. But if I were to give a name sign to, for instance, like Yotter, you know, Yotter, boats, all that type of stuff, you could say the sign boat with Y's. And so you've got Yotter. And so you have a name there for you. And so you would say, hi, my name is Yater, and you'd finger spell it, so that way they know your actual name, and then you'd give the name sign for the person. And so I say, Yater, and so now they know to refer to you as Yater. Uma Masumi stream when? Well, I don't know what that means, Andrew. His facial scar. Yeah, the thing about deaf people is they have like no filter whatsoever. I was walking down the street one day with my mom, and there was two deaf gentlemen signing to each other across the street, and my mom goes, "You know sign language, you should go talk to them." And I looked over for a couple seconds and watched what they were signing about, and I was like, nope. And my mom's like, why? Go talk to them. You know, it'll be fine. Just go talk to them. I'm like, absolutely not. And she's like, why? Why would you not go talk to them? You're willing to talk to anyone. And I'm like, because they are graphically describing what they did to their girlfriends last night. And I'm not stepping into the middle of that and going, yo, I can understand what you guys are signing in public. I'm fine with them never knowing that I know sign language. We betting on horses. Ah, that Andrew, got it. What, AR? What are you smoking over there? Oh, you missed the word scene. you missed the word scene in your sentence, buddy. That read like a that read like an ancient god showing up in my chat. Have you children of a lesser god? Like you missed a word in there, and that's why I'm sitting here like, what is he smoking? Oh gosh. I have not seen it, no. I still need to see Coda as well. I've heard really good things about Coda, which is an Apple TV movie about a girl. So Coda is an acronym in the deaf community, and it stands for Child of a Deaf Adult. And so if anyone says they're a coda, it means that they one or more of their parents are deaf. So like I was at work the other day, and you know, this was like a month and a half ago, and I was training the new guy, and occasionally I'll say something in sign language, and in that case I was just like, oh, I'm so freaking tired, I want to go home and go to bed. And he looks at me and goes, same. And I'm like, you know sign language? And he's like, oh yeah, I'm a coda. I was like, oh, very cool. I didn't know that at all. I'm glad I didn't sign something worse than that. Yeah, see, I don't know the name of the game. I've just seen like a couple clips on like TikTok of people talking about it. I didn't know the name of the game though. Hot take, Chimera sucks. Chimera was the best fleet in the game until they added the Thai Dorito changes. Nowadays, it has a rough time, for sure. But, like, it became, like, literally the best fleet in the game for a long time. Nowadays, yeah, significantly less good. It still beats every fleet except for the meta fleets. But, like, you know, with the Negotiator in the meta, you can't argue that there's anything better than the Negotiator, apparently. Or, not apparently, but obviously. Yeah, talking to other people's always nerve-wracking, for sure. Coda was good, but it's slow but good. Has the same actress. Yeah, when I first learned sign language was like right before Quiet Place came out, the first one. That's when I learned sign language, and so like literally like the first couple of months of learning sign language, I've learned basically all of sign language that I know overall, like the person I was being taught by and everything like that. It was over the course of about 3 months, 6 weeks of like actual teaching, like hard focus, and then another 6 weeks of like mostly letting me flounder and when I talk to deaf people, and then helping me occasionally just to force me to learn it faster. And so I, like, at the last 6 weeks of that, just every person I met that talked to me and I mentioned that I was learning sign language, they were just like, you need to go and you need to watch A Quiet Place. And I hadn't heard of it. I hadn't seen the trailers or anything. And so I was like, okay. And so I went and saw it, and I really enjoyed it. I really liked A Quiet Place. I actually learned a couple signs from Quiet Place. I was just like, oh, I didn't know that sign was also used for that word. That's interesting. Fleets in their current configuration don't engage me. Like, I'll play my executor fleet, and in row, everything else is hard pass. Yeah, like, I'm not a fan with where it is, for sure. I'm definitely not. I had a deaf class. We didn't have to learn sign. So, oh, wait, was it like a deaf culture class? Like, what do you mean, undead chemist? I learned the sign for a movie. I feel like everyone knows that sign at this point. The problem with sign language is it's like the only language you have to learn the swear words. And I say you have to learn the swear words because I met someone who hadn't learned the swear words, which was the person I was talking about, the Coda. Apparently, his parents didn't teach him any swear words growing up or anything like that. And so occasionally he would say something and he would sign it wrong. And I'd be like, oof, because, you know, you can say someone's bold. That is totally fine. You can say bold and you're good, you know? Oh, you're bold. But you do that backwards and you say the B word. Like, every single swear word backwards is a normal word. And so you have to know all of the bad words, otherwise you're going to accidentally sign them. It's so bad. And so, yeah, it's definitely interesting. Yeah, culture, we learned a lot about the history of the deaf. Really sad. Yeah. What do you use for fleets and rote? Honestly, at this point, I used to use Chimera quite a bit for some of the dark side missions. They can do quite a bit of them. But nowadays, I just use the big three. Mi baño es muy grande. Tengo queso en mis pantalones y soy embarazada. Me gusta. I don't remember the word for potatoes. I used to have a couple phrases in Spanish, but that's about it. Using Tarkin clones if I don't have them all R9. Do you mean in the raid? Do you mean outside of the raid? Like, what are we talking about, Andrew? Miss Papas. There you go. Sí, soy embarazada. Or if it was in Portuguese, estou grávido. In the raid, just throw on some good, like, over 300 speed mods, and essentially Tarkin kind of just nukes the team. If you're talking about, like, breaking it up into multiple teams, I haven't figured that out myself at lower relic levels. I'm pretty sure that requires higher relic levels, like relic 7, to be able to get the certain bonuses that you need. But I could be wrong. But I tried doing it with just Tarkin and Scorch. I haven't looked at like any videos for it or looked at what other people are using, so I'd probably have to go do some research to get it really perfectly down. We're gonna switch to Executrix this time. Yeah, I usually look them up because the dark side rote missions aren't really something that I do on the regular, but there's quite a bit that are pretty important on like how you do them. So or like there's certain lineups that you use. Rude. Can we get a critical hit and just... Nope, okay. It's estoy embarazada. Either way works. You know what embarazado means? I mean, technically you'd never use the word embarazado because technically it's not possible. But yes, I do. It does mean pregnant. And so embarazado would be the male form of it, which of course wouldn't really make sense. Hence the reason I used embarazada. Because if it's already confusing enough to hear a guy looking like me say soy embarazada, to not add an extra layer of saying embarazado. So I just stick to the version of it that will break the ice the fastest. Should I target Apo or Fox first? Fox. Fox is the left side one, I believe. Fox. I usually will use the so start off with Tarkin using his last ability, and then he uses his AoE. Scorch, don't use his taunt, use his first ability, his first special. Sorry, not first ability. His first special to start off. That'll clear off all of the counter attacks. My brain's not working. It's late, guys. And then you can just do the massive hit with Tarkin and just wipe the whole team, essentially. I like to use CX2's special on Apo instead of on Fox, because Fox you can usually just nuke with everyone else, and that'll reduce the damage coming from Apo, because Apo's kind of the damage dealer in there. Hopefully that made some coherent sense. Troopers wants to join a call with you. What's up? Is there something new to discuss or something, or you just want us to hang out? Because I'm about to hop off myself, but if he has something he wants to talk about, I'm down to talk for a second. How do common pop names work in sign like Luke Skywalker? It's very up in the air for proper names. Proper names will end up being a couple deaf people agree on something and then it catches. Think of it in the same way that names in Galaxy of Heroes come around, where you know, you'll have something like Jedi Master Mace Windu come out, and then we all kind of agree together unofficially on a name, but then there will be other names that other people use. So some people are calling him JMMW, I'm calling him BAMF, that kind of thing. It's the same kind of stuff with proper nouns inside sign language. And so for instance, McDonald's is also McDonald's. There's two different signs for the same thing. There's actually, I think, 3 or 4 for McDonald's. I've seen a couple for different things like Walmart, that type of stuff. And so it's usually just a couple of people agree on something and then it kind of spreads from there. And often you'll have an East Coast, a West Coast, a Californian version of each sign for proper nouns. The only one that I know for Star Wars is you have your hands like this, like you're saying hang loose. You put them together like that. And then you put them at your waist and bring it out like a lightsaber. And that's Yoda. That's the only one that I know of Star Wars signs. The thing is, you have finger spelling in sign language, and so no matter what, even if there isn't a sign, you can always finger spell something, and it's super common to do that. So you'll be like, you know, you'll be signing and saying whatever you're saying, and you get to a word that you just don't know the sign for, and instead you just swap it out with finger spelling. And so you're just like, oh yeah, the chimera, and you finger spell it out like that, and then the person, if they know the sign, will give you the sign and be like, here's the sign for that, and then you're like, thank you, and then you kind of keep going from there and continue forward, and then you now know the sign and you can utilize the sign. So especially like right now with how I'm not speaking for 3 years, I will do that quite often when I'm talking to someone, and I will just like finger spell something and then they'll just give me the sign, and I was like, perfect, and then I can, you know, use that again and keep using that sign even though I haven't used the sign in 3 years and I don't remember that specific sign because it's obscure. So I can't ever get executrix versus executor work. I stun punishing one, but then they call it before I can get punishing one down. Get stuck behind taunt and get destroyed. Would you ever consider a guide on this counter? I'm not a big fan of that counter myself. If I had a way of doing it like well, I would make a counter for it, like a counter guide. It's not a guide. It's not a counter that works amazingly. If they have a 5-star punishing one, it falls apart. If they have a 7-star punishing one but have too high of relic levels on other characters, and they gun down your scythe, it falls apart. If like I think that if you were to like relic 8 your Grand Inquisitor and your 5th brother, it might work a little bit better. But as is, I don't see an excellent way of doing the counter, and I haven't found one, and so I don't really have a plan to make a guide about it. He's playing on stream. Okay. What is that? Thicker blue border around some abilities like Boba Fett, Sign of Django. I don't know. I don't know why some have the blue border and some don't. I'm going to be honest. You're talking about like this, where it's blue around this one, but it's like clear around these two? I have no clue why it's like that. Not yet. It's also late. But yeah, I don't know if you can see that in frame. Hold on, I don't have my preview up. Yeah. So this is way too high. Obviously, you're supposed to do this like down here, but I want you guys to be able to see it, so. Not yet. Too late. How do you get Scythe? It's a conquest character. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of signs that use the tongue out, but like that's more of a facial expression, and that's more like advanced sign language that most people aren't going to utilize when they're newer. In fact, most people don't actually use the tongue out method nowadays. They instead just mouth the first syllable of most words, and they don't use the tongue out. Like instead of saying far away and going like you're supposed to, typically most of the time you'll see people saying, instead of like doing like the whole, they just say far essentially with their lips. So I don't know, it's kind of an older sign language thing. It still exists. I don't see it often. Then again, I sign with primarily younger people. The people that I used to sign with are college students, so could be when it comes to the older generation, they'd use that type of thing a lot more. What do you use to counter Executor and GAC? I've been starting to use, I think it's the Negotiator counter, and I've been enjoying that. But yeah, I'll either use the Executor or the Negotiator counter. Dr. Trey needs a ship. That'll be our red 5 that comes to the game, is Darkside Ray. It's actually a glitch and it shouldn't work that way technically, but they've never bothered to patch it, and so they think it's not enough of a problem to ever fix. Dr. Trey's Millennium Falcon, there you go. What are they? Are they in Padawan? Yeah, they're in Padawan's Council. Oh, that was a good hit. Is Executor hard to counter with Radis? I'm stuck at 30. You can only counter Executor with Radis. Wait, are you talking about Profundity or are you talking about Radis? Because Radis can technically counter Executor pre-punishing one, but can't do it post-punishing one. Finally did it. Oh my gosh. It's finally over. The mission, the nightmares. Radis, my Funny's only 4-star. I mean, 4-star used to be able to beat Executor, but now it can't. Yeah, Radis can't really do much. That's why I always suggest everyone go for Executor and not Profundity first. Well, any final questions about sign language before I hop off for the night? Because I am exhausted, and I'm going to hop in this call with Troopers on break for a second, see how he's doing. But that was the last piece of content that I need to do. Whoever was asking me about this, I think it was Andrew, if he's still here. We'll try a run, even though I'm not going to remod my clones, so usually I throw a remod on these clones and call it a day, but we're not going to throw a meter remod for now just because I don't want to. So my Tarkin's probably modded terribly and this isn't going to work, but I want to give you a basic idea of the overall strategy that I employ. So I'll typically throw this on Apo, since it'll reduce his damage. We're going to gun down Fox. We'll hit this ability. And so because we hit the middle ability on Apo, that removes all of the stuff on all the guys and sets up these wonderful exposes. And so you want to be able to get Tarkin into his first AoE while these exposes are on them. Because you can basically gun out their entire team off of it. Obviously my Tarkin is not well modded. For the reason of I haven't really bothered. But right there we got Fox out, we got a couple of the guys out. This is this guy. Go ahead and basic. You're gonna hit this ability for us. And now that we're here, we'll hit this ability just for fun. And there goes him. And even without a remod, looks like we're gonna win this easily. Because now we have that, and now it's all just a matter of killing off the people that we can hit. And overall, we just save Tarkin's AoE for each round, and we can just use Tarkin to kill off everyone. So, as for like doing multiple teams out of this, or as Tarkin and Scorch and stuff, I don't know the mods for it. I don't know if it works under Relic 9 or Relic 7, but that's how I use my clones. The Power Council server. Okay, I will be over in just a moment. I was just showing off something real quick because someone had a question. Perfect, Yotter. But yeah. And then at this point, like literally all this is just killing off these guys and lining up Tarkin to get his hits, because like if you have a well modded Tarkin, you're essentially just gonna sit here and continually be able to hit that ability by this point. I don't have a well modded Tarkin right now because I didn't do my hot utils loadout, but you know. Yeah, so like Tarkin will literally just one-tap the enemy team every time like that. I'm assuming if you're doing the Tarkin Scorch cheese, I'm guessing you're having a fast Scorch that's slightly faster than Tarkin to lead up with the AoE to get the things out there, and then you have Tarkin hit his AoE first turn and just wipe everyone you can and do that same kind of thing. But I don't know. ASL is one of those tricks that you can do and will never not impress me. Do you have any good videos on how to use hot utils? The best way to use hot utils is to not use hot utils and use hot utils. So the best way to use hot utils is not to use the wizard or whatever it's called, the GI wizard or whatever it's called, and mod, because it's all algorithm based, and so it's not actually going to help you. And so the best way to do it is to go and watch someone's video where they're like, hey, this is the modding I would suggest for this. like for this raid, for instance, and then you go and you mod for that raid, those characters, and then you just make a mod profile for those characters, and then you can swap it back and forth. So get a baseline mod loadout of all of your mods in there that you can swap back to at any time, and then you can just hit update every time you want to go move mods around, and it'll update to what you currently have. So if you have new characters you put in, or you moved a mod that you think it should be where it should be, then you do that, and then you can come back around and move it all back at the end, and then you move your mods to something and make a mod profile there. So it's pretty simple. But no, I do not have a video on hot utils. I intend to make a video on hot utils. Haven't gotten around to it though. Hey, Dark Eye, sorry, I'm actually headed out at the moment, but welcome, good to see you, and you have a great night. I am exhausted, I am tired, and I'm gonna go say hi to troopers on break for a second. This was just a test stream to make sure things weren't wigging out on me, but thank you guys for being here, and I will see you guys in the next video. I'm gonna raid. Where is it? Raid. Troopers on break, save.